Dzień dobry, ciao, buenos dias, hola, ¿qué tal? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10. And for the first time, I think, since we've been broadcasting this every morning, it's actually quite rough out there. It's almost wintry. It's like heavy, blustery winds, and some storms seem to be coming through. You've probably heard already. But yeah, not very impressive out there. How are you today? I hope it's better where you are. If you haven't been here before, where you been? This is where you should be at 10 o'clock every day. How many times do I have to tell you? Keep coming back, please. This is Ken at 10. We are James Alexander Estate Agents. We broadcast every day here at 10 o'clock. So nice to virtually meet you. Thanks for coming. And we talk about all things property and what's going on really in the world, and hopefully come up with some interesting things for you to think about. Today, I noticed that we've got Hong Kongers snapping up UK property in the headlines. Well, this is an interesting one because, of course, we've provided passports for 3 million citizens of Hong Kong, with the awful Chinese regime bearing down on them. I mean, if you lived there, in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? I would, certainly. I don't think that it's... Good morning to the property jungle. How are you guys? I don't think it's even a question. I think, we can expect 3 million roughly from Hong Kong over in the UK buying properties, mostly well-educated. They'll contribute really well to society. I think they'd be great addition to the UK, and we look forward to welcoming them over, and no doubt they'll be offering on properties before we know it. It's all good stuff. In other things, tomorrow, we have the first isolation inspiration for a while, with the amazing Florence, and she is all about organizing. Not about you, but it's one of those things that, you try and be disciplined about, but are you doing it right? Well, Florence is going to tell us what we're doing right and wrong. That's going to be live right here on James Alexander Estate Agents at 11:15 tomorrow. So please join us, and do bring your questions about your organization. What are you missing out? How could you do things better? She's there to help you get organized. She does talks, seminars on this. It's her job. So if you want to know what to do to get better organized, join us at 11:15 tomorrow for a full on that. Also tomorrow, another Homes Under the Hammer episode, and always enjoy doing those. This time we're in Thornton Heath. As you probably know by now, we cover Southwest London and get calls most weeks really these days for them. And it's always fun. We know the film crews really well now, know what to do. We can get them in and out really quickly. And now there's only one estate agent involved. Even more exposure for us little independents, so it's great news for us, the ones that are chosen, and privileged to be part of that fantastic show. And I also think, I say this quite a lot, but I do think we are now what I call a generation, the Homes Under the Hammer generation. And what I mean by that is that if you look back 10 years, if you had a property that needed work, it was quite hard to sell. People would say, that's too much work. I'm not interested in that one. And today, the polar opposite is true. If you give me two properties to sell, and one is a total wreck and the other one is pretty good, then the total wreck will have far more interest than the house in nice condition. How weird is that? I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that, and I really do believe this, that if you watch Homes Under the Hammer, what you'll find is a really wrecked house, and you'll see me looking around and giving a figure, probably 100,000 less than it would be in good condition. And then all you see on the screen is whoosh, magical. And then there's this beautiful place, and you see it in all its glory. And then my valuation is maybe 100,000, 150,000 higher, whatever it is. But the point is, you don't see the 6 months to 2 years in between, and the heartache, the stress, the overspend, and quite often the zero profit involved from the developers. And so I do believe it gives a kind of a false illusion of how easy it is to develop property. And therefore, quite often now, when we're advising clients with properties that need work, we're actually saying to them, no, please don't do it. Don't do it up. Leave it. Let us sell it as it is, because we know that the interest levels will be higher from a property that needs work than one done. It's so frustrating sometimes when you get a relatively nice one and the reaction to it is muted, and you think, that's really strange. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a great house. And then you get the equivalent come on the market for just maybe 50K cheaper, and absolutely all over it. And I suppose, it is a lot to do with people love to slap their own identity on. They love the excitement, the challenge, the journey of it all. Once you've done it, it can be quite a different experience, because it can be quite stressful, finding the right builders, the right team. And generally they're all quite busy. And it's very much like, well, that's the price, take it or leave it. It's not the material, it's not the labor, love, it's the materials. You'll hear echoed time and time again up and down the country. And especially now, because the market's busy, that means builders are busy. And that's why I think Rishi's made such a good move here, particularly with Eat Out to Help Out. That's really helped a lot of our struggling traders here in the local area. So we're really pleased with that. And also the stamp duty deadline, as many of you know, I think that may well be extended because I think it's been that effective. And I don't think we've yet to see the full effects of that coming through because so many people are calling me now that I've been speaking to for years about investing, about moving, and saying, is it a good time? Is it the right time? And I'm saying, well, yeah, actually, for many of you, it is the right time. I don't think you should rush out there and buy the first thing you see. Absolutely not. But do I think it's a sensible time to buy? Well, you know, you can save on stamp duty. If you're a first-time buyer, the effect of that may be zero for you. So you have to consider that in the mix. What will happen post-March deadline? That's the question on everybody's lips, as is what will happen if we go into a second lockdown. Talking of which, we must get our epidemiologist back on and have another chat with her to see what she's saying now about a second wave. Will it come? Will we get through it? Because the statistics are remarkably good so far, aren't they? Seems that way to me. I mean, I'm encouraged when you look at the rest of the world and then you look at the UK, we seem to be doing relatively well. That together with the Chinese exodus to Great Britain, we should be looking good for a really strong September. How much it will be impacted by the mass redundancies that come through remains to be seen. But we are really interested in looking to see what happens there. And we'll report to you live right here to what's happening on the ground. But right now we are as busy as ever. So many valuations coming through, so many people now putting their properties on the market and making that move that they've been thinking of for years, thinking, well, you know, with encouragement to stamp duty, it's the time for us to go. And it's great, really good, really happy about it. We're working really, really hard, working late. I saw Roy, if you're watching this, Roy Fever, saying yesterday, didn't get out the office yesterday. I feel like I've just slept and woke up in the office. And we're kind of feeling that way as well. Kind of, you know, the office hours are finished and you're still here. And then you kind of look at the clock and think, should have eaten my dinner a couple of hours ago. But, you know, it's one of those industries where when the sun shines, you really do have to make hay, because you never know when the stable door is bolted, you know, the horse is bolted and the stable door is shut. You just don't know. So very much at the moment, it's all hands on deck. Everyone's working really hard. I'm lucky because I've got a fantastic team around me, and it's really good fun to be working with them. You know, I think a lot of work is about the people you work with and their attitude towards the tasks ahead. And if they're having fun and you're having fun, then the vibe is good. And that's so important to me, because you know what? We spend more time in our office than we spend with our families. I'm lucky enough that I spend it with my family at the same time because my wife's here as well. But you know what I mean? We're in the office a lot, and therefore to enjoy what you do is so important. And I feel so lucky that I'm able to do that. But I also think that we have to remember, even when we're amongst the most serious moments, we need to have fun. You know, we need to lighten up and think, hang on a minute, perspective. Is anyone going to die here? Probably not. You know, let's do what we can, do the best for the client, go back to our core values, you know, be real, give back, make sure that you're doing your best for your client, and be remarkable. You know, that's what we always say. We don't want to be the same as every other agent. How many other agents are doing a live at 10 o'clock? I don't know any, I don't think. I'm sure many will start to in time as they begin to catch on that this works really well. But in the meantime, it makes people remark upon what we do. That makes us remarkable, doesn't it? Well, I think so anyway. Of course, I would say that. But if you think it's selling locally and you need someone with absolutely brilliant social media coverage, our Facebook page locally is smashing everybody else to bits, frankly. And also, it's lovely to be part of the local community. And that's what I mean by give back, you know. And that's why we're doing the interview tomorrow with Florence. She's a local businesswoman, part of the Streatham Mums Network business pages. And we're delighted to have her on board. We're also getting Viv the Spiv back. I don't know whether any of you were here or any of you watching might remember Viv. Fantastic guy and so funny and such a big following as well. So we want him to come back on the show as well. So Georgia, we're looking forward to having you back on. And Viv the Spiv, always going to be a laugh with you. We're always going to have fun with that and look forward to it. Apart from that, I hope you have a good day today. Our noses are to the grindstone. We've got lots of things to do, so I must go there. Thanks very much for watching, and absolutely have a fantastic day. Take care.